I want to start off by saying I completely understand where you're at. I know how scary this is. I know that the behaviors that you're exhibiting, you're not proud of. I know there's a part of you that's saying, oh my gosh, I look crazy, I look ridiculous, but I can't stop. This may have contributed to you looking in their phone or spying on them somewhere or needing constant reassurance that they're not going to cheat on you, or to monitor who they're with and when they're with them and when they're coming home, or to constantly reach out to them when they're out with somebody else or doing another activity with somebody. I understand all of those things. And I will tell you that I have been in more relationships that cheated on me than relationships that didn't cheat on me. This is probably a 3-2 ratio. I'd say 5 relationships that were long-term, so to speak. The first 2 cheated, the third one didn't, the fourth one cheated, and the fifth one is the one I'm in now for 13 years, and he does not cheat. But I will tell you that I brought this fear into this current relationship. It wasn't big, it wasn't huge because I'd done so much healing work, but it was there. One night, he was out of town with his friends. They were up at a cabin somewhere north here. I was home with my daughter, and the electricity went out. And I called him, and he didn't answer. And so I called him again, and he didn't answer. And I texted him, and he didn't answer. He eventually, like an hour later, called me back. And I remember just being so wigged out. Now, we had been dating for quite some time. We're now married. And he had never done anything weird. But I could feel this feeling inside of me that he was doing something bad, because when the former husband didn't respond to text or phone calls, that was the time that he was cheating. So my brain went, something's happening right here, right now. And I could feel it welling up inside of me. When he called me, he said, oh, I'm so sorry. He said, I went outside, because he was at their friend's cabin, to light a fire, and all the guys joined me outside, and I had left my phone inside. I heard the logic of it. I could sense that he was telling the truth, but my body was still activated. He said to me, should I come home? And everything in my body was screaming, yes, come home, come home, come home, because I wanted to feel safe. I wanted him right where I could see him and to know that he wasn't doing anything bad. But I said, no. I said, no, you're fine. Please stay. Have a good time. But I'm triggered right now, so I'm going to hang up because I need to deal with this. Now, this poor guy didn't even know what triggered meant. He didn't know what was happening, but he said, okay, and we hung up the phone. And I sat on the end of the bed, and I said to myself repeatedly, he is not him. Current person is not former person. And I said this for 10 minutes straight. I remember it. I remember the position I was in. I was on the edge of my bed. I was leaning forward. And I just said to myself over and over again, he is not him. And I feel so much for that woman inside of me who had been betrayed, who had had this happen to her. But I also didn't want him to be responsible for the crimes of this one. And that's my first point, is we have to keep the crime with the perpetrator, because if we don't, then this person over here pays for the sins and the crimes of this person. And that's just not fair. Because I wanted to trust, and because I could trust the integrity of who is now my husband, I rewired my brain to trust. And this is something that is incredibly important. Point number 2, how is this person showing up for you? Are they being honest? Are their words and behaviors matching? Are they dedicated to you? Because if they are, this is a person that you can trust. But we must be willing to retrain our brain to know that not all men and not all women are going to cheat on us. And I didn't want him to suffer through what I had dealt with the other one. We have this part of our brain that's called the amygdala. And the amygdala's job is to keep us safe. So what it does is it records everything that has happened in our life that was traumatic or scary. And it does this in order to keep us safe. So what it does is it will scan the environment over and over and over again, looking for a potential threat. And the key word here is potential. Doesn't mean that it's actually happening, but it says red alert, red alert, red alert. Look over there. That's scary. You're going to get cheated on again. So in the case where my second husband wasn't responding to me, and when he wasn't doing that, that's when he was up to no good. When this current husband wasn't responding to me, my brain said, red alert, something bad is happening. And I could feel the panic rise up inside of me. Although even if he was doing anything, I couldn't stop it. And that's something else that I came to understand, is that I can't stop this if this is going to happen, but I can deal with it if it does. And I can pay attention to any big changes in behavior, because oftentimes these people that we're bringing it to, if they are trustworthy and their words and behaviors are matching and they're showing up loving to us, they decide to cheat, we're going to know it, because there's going to be a shift in energy that is undescribable. Private detectives say this more times than not. They say, if a person has reached the point where they're reaching out to me to see if their partner is cheating on them, the answer is always yes, because they feel it. They know that there is something that has changed. So I also trained myself to trust that I would know, I would feel it if it was happening. I didn't want to make things up. I didn't want to create problems where there wasn't any problems. I will also tell you that that wasn't the first time that that happened in this relationship, but I didn't bring it to him every single time. I knew, because of the way it felt, it would just well up inside of me, and this panic and fear would start to overtake me, but I didn't want him to pay for the crimes of my former husband. So I worked on it within myself, because I taught myself how, and I kept the crime with the person that it belonged to. One of the most beautiful things about the human brain is it is neuroplastic. What that means is that we can retrain it. We can rewire it. So we don't have to stay stuck in patterns that are hurting us, that are causing upheaval, that are keeping us stuck in life and on some repeating loop of pain. We can actually rewire our brains. And I will tell you that I do not fear him cheating on me at all. Absolutely not, zero whatsoever, because I have rewired my brain. I kept the crime with the perpetrator. I didn't put it on him. And this is something that I want to encourage you to work on, because if you are continually bringing this to your partner and you're looking for constant reassurance, or you're spying on them, or you're looking in their phone and you're doing things that they're just getting, quite frankly, sick and tired of. They're just annoyed by it at this point, and they're frustrated at this point, because one of the greatest things that we can do for another human being is to honor who they are. And when we are constantly bringing this to them, what we're saying is that I don't trust you, I don't believe you, and I don't see you. And being someone that was on the receiving end of this as well, that was very hard for me, because I'm a very trustworthy person and I show up in the world, my words, behaviors match. I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm where I say I'm supposed to be. And to have that happen to me, that hurt me deeply, because I thought, how can you not see me? It's obvious that I'm not a person that does these type of things, yet you're accusing me of this over and over again. And quite frankly, we don't want to be with people who don't see us. We want to be loved and honored and cherished for exactly who we are. So if we're continually bringing this to another partner, we're actually hurting them. I know we're hurting as well, but we're hurting them too. So I'm going to invite you to bring compassion to this entire situation. Know that this is nothing that you did to you. This is not anything that is sinister and that you're doing purposefully. It is quite literally your brain trying to warn you of impending danger. I believe in you. I know that you have everything it takes to heal this inside of you. It's a very, very simple solution, but it's going to take dedication and effort towards it. You can't let those moments go by. You can't allow yourself to run to them with every little fear that you have. Sit back, pay attention, watch, see who they are. Do they keep coming back to you lovingly? Are they here? Are they consistent? Have they proven to you that they do love you and they want to be here? Then believe them. Keep the crime with the person it's supposed to be with, and learn to trust. If you got value from this episode today, I really hope that you give me a like. And if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you can be notified when I upload new videos and go live. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. And I want to say one last time, you can heal this. This is 100% doable. Like I said, I was cheated on more times in life than I was not. But I knew that there was a way to heal this, and I dedicated myself to the healing because I wanted a healthy relationship, because I did not want to bring this past residue to this current relationship. And we're both thriving and living happily now. And I know you can too.